Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim, coming to you from the Sun Coast here in South Florida, Sarasota, Bradenton, home of the best place in the world, I'm telling you. We got it all. We check all the boxes. Speaking of all the boxes being checked, are you even thinking or are you considering on buying a truck, a pickup, a tower, a man's vehicle? And a woman's vehicle, actually. Well, you've seen all the rest. You've tried all the rest. How about now, let's buying the best? That's right, that's a bold statement. Well, I can tell you, I've had them from small to big, from foreign to domestic. And I'm telling you right now, there isn't one thing on this vehicle I'm getting ready to show you that doesn't check all but one box. There's only one box it doesn't check. Make sure you stay to the end of the video to hear what that is, because it's very, very important. It could actually be a deal breaker. For me, I cuss it every day, but it's not the deal breaker for me because of all the other boxes that it checks off. So you're thinking about a new truck. You're out looking around. You hear a lot about Toyota, obviously. You hear about Chevy. You hear about Ford. The Nissans, the Dodge Rams, the whole array. And the technology today is absolutely phenomenal. Some trucks are like Cadillacs inside. Some are a little more simple. Some have diesel engines, some have gas, some have different rear ends, some have four-wheel drive, some are four-door, some are long and short bed. There's so many things to consider. Which way do you go? What are your needs? Well, one thing I want to tell you is don't go on your needs. Go on the one that checks every box, because needs can change. What you think you need right now may be totally different next year. And so why not go ahead and make sure you got it and learn from the mistakes that I made. I started out with that little teeny thing, that little Tonka toy. It's called a Taco, a Tacoma. That's right, I've owned 3 of them. 3 of those little babies. When I lived out in California, there wasn't anything that could follow it or touch it off-road. I also had a Toyota 4Runner, which was an amazing, watch my video on Toyota 4Runner conquers Hell's Revenge in Moab, Utah. If you want to see a formidable off-road vehicle, take a look at that. It's right there with the Wrangler. And while those are really good and lightweight and off-road, it can short wheelbase and big lean angles and can crawl over like anything. They're just like a spider. They're really amazing. If that's your need, well then that's different, because that's actually a second box that this one won't cover. It's a 4-wheel drive, what I'm about ready to show you, but I don't know about it being as formal as a 4Runner, a Wrangler, or a Tacoma because of the longer wheelbase and the weight of it. But anyway, getting back to the point. Most people that buy these trucks, when are you going to show it to us, Tim? In a minute. Listen to my prelude. Most people that buy these trucks, whether they're just the simple 2-wheel drive, get around half-ton truck or Tacoma, to one that is loaded out, the trimmer, the TRD, the Boss, whatever they call their Dodge model, and you got the winches, you got the tires and wheels, your Bigfoot. It never leaves the pavement. Most people that buy these trucks have never even been off-road. Now, I live in the state of Florida. We don't have a hill any higher than an overpass. We're like sea level. There isn't, you got to drive for days. Well, you got to go up to at least Georgia to find any altitude or any mountain or a hill to climb. So as far as 4-wheel drive, we got some mud. We got that kind of thing. But you know, we got hurricanes, and you want something that's high up. You want something that's 4-wheel drive. You want something that's got a real truck bed in the back. These 4-door Toyotas and stuff, they got 4 doors on them and they got no bed. I got more trunk room in my Honda Accord. And the 8-foot bed that you can get on some of these bigger trucks, I don't particularly like the style of the truck. It looks a little bit too long. It's a big truck already. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the only truck you should consider buying, and I'm going to tell you the trim package that you should go with. I don't care how much money you got. Okay, so you got plenty of money, go for it. Get that leather with that Cadillac interior. But man, let me tell you, this interior and this package is just strikes it rich. Here it is, the 2024 Ford F250 Super Duty, entry level XL, but a $5,000, $5,500 optional package called the STX. And the STX, Ford has put together the best of the best things for the $5 grand you could possibly want in a pickup truck. This has got a 373 rear end. It's four-wheel drive. It's not a diesel. You save $15,000 there. It's got the Godzilla, and it's got the Mini. The 7.3 is an amazing Godzilla. They put it in all these motor coaches and stuff all over the country. Thousands and thousands, tens of thousands are installed in those RVs. But the de-stroked 6.8 liter Mini Godzilla, which is the same motor but de-stroked, right here. Unbelievable. It'll eat some gas too, just like the 7.3. But I picked up this truck here at Auto Nation Ford in Bradenton, Florida. The fine folks over there will hook you up. I dealt with the management because I used to be in this business for close to 20 years, 100 years ago. And I never really thought I would be a Ford guy. I was kind of a Chevy guy if I got a big truck. I kind of lean towards the Chevys. But in 2024, the new design and everything about the Ford just really hit me. And I'm going to point out a couple of those things. In fact, even the XL entry level I have here with the STX package has a grille that's different than their $100,000 truck that I particularly think is a lot more handsome and bold. And as far as that big expensive one that Ford makes, yeah, I'm critical of Ford too. And it's not that I don't have the money. That Platinum, I guess that's their top trim level. I got no use for that aluminum foil tailgate they put on there. You know, that silver aluminum tin can and it says Platinum on the back? I'm sorry, I don't like it. This is great. Now, the Super Duty that's embossed into the tailgate, they do not put these letters on there, which they should. And then again, they shouldn't, because if you like it plain like that, then that's good for you. I bought these for $100 and put them on. They're a 3D raised. This is not tape. This is the real deal. And the front of the truck has an embossed Super Duty on the hood. And I spoke about it the other day, that I toyed with the idea of putting them in the embossed lettering here on the hood. But because of this bold grille I just mentioned, with all the black and the front lower air dam and everything, I've seen trucks with it, and I personally do not like it. Yes, I'm opinionated. This is what I like. So I'm going to leave those out, and you can still see it. But when you put them in, that's all you see. It takes away from the big bold Ford emblem, the black grille. That's all you see is this billboard, this sign, Super Duty. And now in the back, that's what I want you to see. It was just a plain white tailgate. Has a little black trim on the bumper, but it brought the eyes up to the Super Duty with the big giant emblem that they've created in the last couple of years too. Also, Ford did borrow from General Motors and started putting in these step sides. You will use that every time you need to even come near this truck if it's going to be something about going in here. And the one up here is just as useful. They sell these things that people buy that pop out underneath because they needed it, or they jump up on their tire. Now it's built into the truck. It's everything you want. These right here are the new radar sensors that are for the cross traffic alert. You're backing up or you put it in reverse, these are going to pick up any pedestrians or vehicles that are anywhere near coming at you and warn you. That's right. The XL entry-level truck also has an infotainment center with automatic headlights, LED headlights, cornering lamps. Last night I was returning in the dark, and every time I turned the corner, a big bright light lit up around on the road right here to allow me to see. I don't know how it points over there, but it does. And the headlights are LED. Now the daytime running lights, these big C's, this big thing here and over here is something new also in 2024. They had them in previous years, but they weren't as cool. They weren't as big. This is bold. It's so visible. I mean, you're already a big vehicle, but it's so visible when you're coming at somebody. It's really cool, your daytime running lights. This STS package, let me turn the camera around. It comes with these big tires and wheels. Now they're not 33s and lifted off the ground and all that like people like to do, spend another 10 grand and lift the truck up to the sky and put these big giant tires and wheels and get even less gas mileage than they already get. Look at this truck is already lifted. Look how high this truck comes from the factory to me. I'm 5'10". This thing is, I mean, I got to get up on something to, not really to check my oil. They get the stick that's very convenient, but if you want to get up there and work on it, I bet these technicians have to get a little platform. So it's got this nice black thing here, which I need to get that wax off. I waxed her one day. You can take a regular pencil eraser, a whole big giant eraser. That's a trick, that's a hack, and that will take that off. This has got the STX package. You've got the turning lights and running lights in the signals when you're driving at night that are visible to people coming at you and behind you. This has the FX4 package, obviously with the four-wheel drive. It's got the skid plate. It's got the rear slider window. And you gotta put that flag on there. That's a must, just like these. These are the mods that I did. Comes factory with the trailer hitch. It'll pull as much as you can afford to buy. This thing can pull, I don't know, 18, almost 19,000 pounds. You can put like 3,000 pounds in the bed. And I'm gonna get to the one con about this truck. It's a big one too. This is the four-door version. This is not anything small. This is a huge, huge cab. And the seats fold up so simple, easy, and they lock in there, and I leave them up because I don't carry anybody. And I have my Dometic refrigerator. It's not a cooler. That's not a cheapo. That's a $1,000 refrigerator. It plugs in, and I've got a heavy-duty alternator this one came with. I've got the window sticker right here to show you. And listen to the door. Listen to this truck. Listen to this. That is solid. I don't know if you can hear it through my microphone. These wheels are amazing, beautiful. Another thing you got to do as a mod, first thing, is you got to put these black wheel well plastic liners in, right in here. I added them because it's like, I don't know, it was like white in there. And so I did that. So now it's all shaded out, front and back. You don't see what you were seeing before. Let's see what's out. The sliding rear window. That cargo light, the cab light up there, amazing. And then in the back of the bed here is these LED. Right here's a switch. And last night I was unloading my e-bike, and you would not believe when it was dark outside how lit up, even with my tonneau cover rolled back, how it lit up. Only the bed in here, everything I needed to see, to untie my ropes and everything else. And those are LED. I bought this liner too, a must-have. I'm not big on the spray liner because I don't worry about things on the side scratching. You know, if you have a business and you're a mechanical guy or a construction guy and you might worry about scratching or denting, then you know you can have a spray liner bed put in. That's optional. I just put this thing in here. They shipped it to me. Amazon. Look at that. It's molded to fit this truck. Perfect. LED backup lights. These tires, I've got 9,000 miles roughly on this truck. And I went across country. I towed my a 25-foot camper, my Flagstaff with it. And I didn't even know it was back there. I had a little issue in the beginning as I didn't have my weight distribution hitch correctly set up. It doesn't matter how much truck you got. If you got a weight problem back there and it's not set up right, you're gonna know it. I got it fixed, it works fine. And I put some seat covers, some $298 cheap. They got some $300 ones, man, that look just like leather seats you can put in, but I live in Florida, so I just got these little Caterpillar, whatever, but the seats are beautiful fabric interior that, let me tell you, I wish you could see them. Well, they're in the back seat here because I don't have those covered. But it's this gray and this lighter gray. This is what it looks like on the seat back here. And the headrest. It's a durable, you know, it's not like cheapo. Just because you don't have the leather, it's nice. And I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I'm gonna tell you the God's honest truth. These chairs, these seats are the most comfortable seats you'll ever sit in your life. You say, hey, no shifter, no console, it's up on the column. That's right, that's because this is the XL, and that's to my advantage. I've got this big armrest and workstation, and there's a storage right here that opens up if I fold that up. And if I fold that up, what do I have? I've got a 3-seater in the front with seat belts. This is a true 6-passenger cargo, I mean, huge, like a limo, baby. 6 big adults, 6 big men, 6 big women can fit in there. No problem. Storage out the yin-yang. Everywhere you look, there's holes, compartments, storage. There's the infotainment center. It's not a giant screen, but it's got everything. It's got Android and Apple CarPlay, corded and wireless, USB-A and C. All this comes with it. You got to get you one of these, man. You got to get one of these. I got one on my Honda Accord. Automatic headlights. Air conditioner will run you out of there. Now I'm going to tell you something. This is the truth. I don't lie. The sound system in here, I got a Bose music system and a Honda Accord that I also own. It's a little better. It really is. But this sound system, especially when you're listening to it through your iPhone or your Android phone, you know, you get much higher audio quality. In this big cab, I think there's 6 speakers or something. That's the stock radio, stereo. Sounds amazing. It really does. Sounds amazing. It's getting hot out here in Florida. So let me just take you over here and show you the window sticker of this beautiful American-made, fine, Super Duty Ford truck. Looks as good as anything. I like the white one. I also like that charcoal dark gray they have. They even make it in like a lunar rock or a cement color. I don't know what they call it. But white is me. I like white. I'm Sarasota Tim, YouTuber. Now, here it is. Let me put on some see-rights so I can see right. And I'll go over this with you real briefly. There's not much to show you. This is a 2024. These are the exterior, interior, functional, safety, and the warranty. 3 years bumper to bumper. 5 years roadside assistant. Okay? You can freeze that right there and check that out. This has a window sticker price of just under $61,000. A base price of $51,000. A total option package of $7,345. And then $2,000 is destination charge. So without the options, you're already going to be $53 and a half. And this one was $6,900. I probably saved about $5-6 grand on it. They had a rebate, I negotiated, and all that stuff. So what do you got here for optional equipment? Well, you got $430 for that 3.73 electronic locking rear axle, posi. You got $5,115 for the STX package. What do you get for $5 grand? It's almost a must. You get those LT tires. You get the blind spot information center, the radar system, the ebony black wheels, the LED box lighting, the payload package upgrade, the reverse sensing system, the 360-degree camera. There's a 360 on there, like you see on Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, like an overhead view, and it shows, like when you're backing up this big beast, it'll show you, you know, the whole parking space or wherever you're backing out of. A really cool feature. All right, the 40-20-40 seat cloth, the FX4 off-road package with the skid plates, platform running boards. Did you see them? They got Ford written on them. A lot of the dealers you go in, especially Toyota, they use these aftermarket companies. And, you know, they just put something on there and they're fine, I guess. But this is Ford, baby. And it's got Ford written on it. That's what I like. And then the 10.5 GVW package, $495 for that skid plate package, $445 for the GVW package. I got a big payload I can put on here. And then it's got 120 volt, 400 watt, right here, baby. Look at this, 400 watts, plug it in, a three-prong, not two, three, with the ground. Plug it in, 400 watts or under, anything you want. Tool, blender, it doesn't matter. All right, the black glass with the defroster, the privacy windows in the back and the back window, all tinted from the factory. This is not some dealer did. I had the dealer do the front. The factory will not do these two front windows. I had those done to match. Okay, power sliding rear window, $405. I never open it, but it looks cool because it's just visible there. And the ones that don't have it, I can tell you I notice it. Spare tire and wheel with the jack, no charge. Upfitter switches. That's these babies up here. Look at this. You want to put some accessories in? Don't be drilling holes in your dash or down below the driver there with all these ridiculous homemade looking things. Just wire them right to your airplane toggle switches up there, which they call the uplifter switches. $165 for that. And then that 250 amp alternator. That's well worth it for 85 bucks. And then the privacy glass. That's the tint. And then the XL driver assist package. So you come over here, and that's how you get to the total of, from the factory, not what these dealers try to add on for mop and glow. You know, that's that wax and pinstripes and, you know, stuff they make up. There's nothing, dock stamps and all this crap. This is what the factory price is. And you can save $3,000 to $5,000 generally on a big expensive vehicle like this in today's market. You just got to know how to talk. So take $3,000 off that, and you're in the mid 50s, upper 50s. And what are you going to do? You can't buy an Acura. You can't buy any of the higher trim level Japanese cars for like 50 or much less. So here you've got the best of everything. You got the luxury, you've got the towability, you can pull something, campers, trailers, horse trailers, you're moving, whatever you need to do. And if you don't need a trailer, this is a 6 3/4 foot bed. If you want to go camping, put a camper shell on it, just a cab height shell. Go ahead, go for it, and get back there and lay down. I mean, unless you're more than 7 feet tall. And so there you go, the 2024. In 2025, you know what they did? They raised the price. That's what they did. They did nothing else. If you could be lucky enough, and just a few months ago, there were some of these still on the dealer lots because of the, you know, tumultuous times we're having in the country with loans and interest rates and people watching their money and stuff like that. They were just kind of sitting around. But instead of going out and spending $80, $100, $120, $150,000, $125,000 for a new Super Duty that can do it all, right here for only 50 to 60 grand somewhere. Let's just call it 60 with taxes and everything. It's not cheap, it's a lot of money, but today and what you're getting, when you put it all together, it's a very good value in my opinion. And I haven't even gone over those features in there on the infotainment center and everything like that. I've got my refrigerator back there that stays on. I can run with like a real refrigerator with me. Now here it is, the end of the video. Time for the big revealing of the con, and it is a big one. It is huge. It will absolutely make you change your mind from this truck. Some people. And that is the ride on bumpy roads. Not on smooth roads, not on the highway, not when you're towing, but when you go over speed bumps, when you go over potholes, when you go over roads that aren't their best, they weren't just paved. This thing will ride like a buckboard. It is got such the stout suspension on it to be able to, you can drop a trailer on the back of that ball back there without a weight distribution hitch, and that bed doesn't even drop. That thing is stout. That thing has got the springs on it. And therefore, what do you lose when you have something beefy like that? It's not a Cadillac. So that's the big con on it, is it is a bumpy ride, kind of like around town or over bumpy roads or crossing, the driveways and the curbs and things like that, that any kind of a dip or bump, you're gonna know it. But when you're out cruising, and that's pleasantly something I'd like to report, on the freeway and stuff, I've said to myself, wow, Tim, it really isn't bad. Once you're on a smooth road, it's a very nice driving truck. Very smooth, very comfortable, great air conditioning, cruise control. Go on down the road, just have a good time. But man, when you gotta go around through shopping centers and you gotta find a parking spot, or you're going down, kind of a rough road, man, wear your kidney belt, because it is a stout truck. But I'm glad I got it, because if I got a F-150, even though you can build those up to do a lot of towing, and people try to do that so they don't have to get a stiff truck like this, or they don't want to spend the money that a 250 Super Duty costs, or they didn't have the STX package a few years ago with the XL and this price point. So they buy a 150, and then what happens? They hook up their trailer and they know it's back there. All of a sudden the truck is sagging and it's just struggling. And they got that, what is that motor they put in there, that turbo thing they got? No. I want a naturally aspirated V8 internal combustion engine. And that right there, that 6.8 liter Mini Godzilla is the powertrain and the transmission, equipped with 10 speeds forward. And it's been flawless. It shifts over and over and over, 10 times. Now when you're towing, it pretty much stays in like, 6, 7, 8, depending on the altitude and the hill you're climbing. But it's got that tow haul mode on it. So that's a whole different animal when you're towing your camper. I have a camper. I live in a camper full time, RV, a Flagstaff. And I bought that. I traded in a Toyota Tundra that pulled it okay, but I never forgot it was back there. I never did. And when I got into that part of the country out west where I had a serious mountain to climb, and I'm over there in that trucker lane, just kind of, don't want to overheat my transmission, and I'm just sort of chugging along, nice and easy to get there. It'll get you there. And it had a long-range fuel tank on it. And it was one of the best V8s you could buy, most bulletproof, long-lasting. We all know about the Toyota Tundra. But do I have any regrets on trading that for this? Not one bit. Never regret, never looked back. Every time I cuss it about the bouncy ride when I go over a bad, rough road or a hump, a speed bump or something, I just keep back in my mind. But look at it and look what you got. It is a beast, folks. So if you're looking to buy a pickup truck, coming to the end of the video now, consider the Ford Super Duty. Consider getting the entry-level model with that STX $5,000 package, almost a must. Get that appearance look. Get all those features, the rear window, the alternator, the skid plates, the four-wheel drive, the FX4. Get those things. Get those windows tinted on the front 2 doors. Have the driver and passenger mirrors with the turn signals in them and everything. And then you'll crush it.